Welcome back to another live session, traders. Hope that you had very enjoyable day starting another trading week and trading day. Beginning with the calendar, we will be covering this news coming up after yesterday's successful session. Back to back 2 sessions yesterday. Today this is the first session for the NOI session. Coming up, core PPI, PPI, CPI. Coming up, core CPI, and maiden and yearly. And also the unemployment claims. And in this session, we will be looking at one by one all of them. And we can see the market. If you look at here with the initial opening, if you guys look at it, you can see the market closed with a pretty long wick doji here at the moment. And from the daily on gold, we can see there is a break of daily support level here in this market. And where with this daily support, if you look at here, you can see this is a series of lower high on the daily. And with this series of lower high, that we can see the market initially has broken that support. So are we going to look at good morning? We go again today. Welcome. Good morning. Waiting for the best Forex. Welcome. Yes, we want to get the best out of the session in terms of trade setup, analysis, as well as developing trading psychology, as well as trade ideas. Now, what we are looking at here in this market, if you guys look at it, you can see this is currently we are on a zone where there is a pullback in this market. And this pullback is necessary because if you guys look at it, you can see that it was in fact huge bull market, and the market is currently in a stronger bullish trend. As with the new weekly and monthly open, we can see there is a deeper pullback. So this is the weekly. I was mainly focusing on the weekly because if you look at the weekly candlestick pattern, you can see that the price, after reaching that all-time high to 367576 level, now we are looking to see that deeper pullback. Now this pullback from the weekly almost coming back to this weekly support level. That's what we're looking at here in this market. And with this weekly support from here, the market is here, that we can see the market coming back to this key weekly support level. And with this drop from the weekly gold currently coming back to the support, expecting the price to possibly again return back to the direction of the trend. So here is what we are looking at on gold from the weekly, guys. The market has had a very stronger rejection from the top, from the higher price. As the market has got a very stronger rejection from the higher price, expecting the price to come back potentially to this weekly low. And this could be the price coming to this weekly open or even crossing that weekly low before we potentially could see that a bounce back to the upside or dropping little further. But it's a bull market, so our zone here for buying is the weekly low. But before coming to the weekly low, we could see that short-term downtrend. Now we are looking at in an uptrending market, short-term downtrend here that we can see. So let's look at now the lower time frame to see what is happening. Now daily chart, it's a long-term bull. Now suddenly we could see that as the coming up, we can see in 20 minutes time 4 high impact news. That's really high impact, and that high impact news could be that the market to come down well below that level. So therefore, if we look at this market from the lower time frame perspective, the price to potentially drop down to that key level of support here in this market. So that being said, if we look at the 4-hour chart, what we are looking at, as you can see, this is a complete breakdown on the lower time frame, and this is the weekly low. The question is the market coming to break that low here to this key level? Let's understand from the lower time frame. Now we are dropping down to very lower time frame for potential trend continuation here. Now this is the zone where head and shoulder, and we can see that two reversal pattern with series of lower high. And with this series of lower high, if you look at that, we can see this market is currently coming down here, and this is a very important support level on the lower time frame on gold. And with this very important support on the lower time frame on gold, what we are looking at here, that this market possibly to come back to this important support level, right? So this is where that we are looking at this market possibly to come back here. Now for me, what I think that, guys, before I think also, I would like to see that what you guys are thinking. Do you think that gold is gonna be coming to this weekly support, or we could see rejection from this level? Both scenario could play out because it's already overextended below, but the probability here for further downside also higher. So now to understand our possible entry, I'm looking at the 15-minute chart. Looking at 15 minutes, that you can see here, this is where the resistance here, if you look at it, you can see this is double top, and with this double top, okay, if you guys look at it, you can see this is a double top, and there was a complete breakdown followed by this pullback, another breakdown, pullback. The market is maintaining series of lower high and lower low, which is showing that the market in a downtrend. Now you can see from this double bottom trying to push back here, and the current sessions high. Now we are looking at the sessions high. This is what I always talk about, guys, that you can see this is a currently on the lower time frame a bear market. So understanding market trend is very important, right? So if we look at the daily, you can see this is a currently lower time frame. That means that intraday bear market, though it's a long-term bull market. And because it's an intraday bear market, I'm looking at the sessions high. So this zone that we're looking at for possible the market to potentially reject from those areas. Now here is the 1 hour that we are looking at, lower time frame price action, and with this lower time frame market structure that we are looking at here in this market, the price to potentially revert back here to cross that high and then to trend back below here to this support level. And that is what I am at the moment potentially looking at in this market for possible trading opportunity. And where I am looking at here for the price to potentially going back up to that resistance line where there is a high liquidity. And what we are need to looking at here is buying or selling from a key area of value. That's where our key goal here. And because as a trader, we need to find an important area of value. As a trader, we need to look for a zone where there is an important area of value. So that being said, here is, if we look at, we can see the market potentially to revert back again to this level where there is a resistance line, and above this level is where key resistance line. And if you look at in this market, what we are seeing from here, a big drop here, pull back to the upside, another drop, pull back to the upside, and the drop. Breaking that swing high is an opportunity to sell, because as in a downtrend, so we will be looking for selling from a key important level. And if you look at here, you can see from here as well, this is a resistance, drop down, pull back, another drop down, pull back, where any break above this level, at the moment the current level that looking at is us to find a selling opportunity, because the 1 hour market structure that I am looking at is also showing that potentially bear market for short term. And there is a fair value gap you guys can see here. Now if you are not sure about fair value gap, say yes in the live chat, or say I need more explanation, I can explain more about the fair value gap. Fair value gap is the best way to understand the imbalance in the market. What is a fair value gap, right? So that is very important, because when you are looking at a market, also you need to look at where the imbalance is, because the market normally moves from a zone, from an imbalance to the imbalance. And as coming up CPI and also unemployment claims. So what's your view on that? Do you think that gold is going to bounce here, which is also possible, because the daily market, bigger picture bullish. Now we see the price just bringing out of that support, and anytime we could see the market to reject again, cross that high to the daily, or drop that level to the support. So that is where we are looking at. If you look at here, you can see this is the 15 minutes perspective, and what we are looking at in this market, if you guys look at, you can see from here, support test, and is approaching that level, right? So let's just start a pull here. I'm going to ask is via a pull. So coming up, unemployment claims. So do you think that so I posted a poll here, guys, so cast a vote. Let me see what's your thought on that. Do you think that with unemployment claims, the market to reverse again back to this resistance, or it's gonna drop back below here? Now we see some upside here, where the market is showing back here to the upside. Here is the move that you can see on gold and 15 minutes chart. The price is slowly pushing that back to the upside here. We're expecting it to cross that resistance line from the 4-hour chart here. This is a key area. So at the moment we see that there is a push coming, and we have 10 minutes. There is a news coming up, and before the news, if the market is touching that level, I would like to enter sell, but we have only 10 minutes to go. Let's see where the market is heading. $42 pip here on ATR on the 15-minute chart. So looking at entry here in that area, we can see the market slowly building the pressure back to the upside here. And as the news coming up, I would love to place a sell limit here, but we can see there is a news coming, and with that news the market may potentially test that here and then to drop back below. As the coming up news, we could be seeing that the market to retest and then to return again to the direction. And here is what you can see, the price approaching that. We have only 8 minutes to go. 4-hour perspective, it's approaching that liquidity zone. And where the market is pushing back here to that level where there is a high liquidity, and this is where we're looking to see the market is approaching that key resistance line where there is a high area of value, and that's what we are looking at in this market, that the market to potentially retest that level. And as the news coming, we could see that a spike going up here. I would definitely look, this is a good point for would be sell, because there is a news coming. Because there is a news coming, and we may not be able to see that because there is a spread widening. I would like to see the price first cross that high. As it cross here, guys, we might be able to find that entry once it crossed that high. Are you guys ready for an entry? Waiting for the news to come up, as it just has crossed that level that we discussed. This could be a good sell area at the moment, unless there wasn't any news. So you can see as soon as it tested, it just got the rejection here. Might be able to catch some peep here in this market. So looking at here guys, this is a doji and the market may remain here in between this support and resistance. From that level onward, it just has got the rejection if we could enter, but as I mentioned earlier, the spike might be pretty stronger here, and with that spike we could see the price potentially to reject back again to the major direction of the trend. That's what looking at here in this market. The market has crossed that high. This is where there is a high liquidity grab, and with the liquidity grab expecting the market to potentially to trend back down here to create a new lower low in this market. We are looking at here from this support level, the market is potentially going back here for another key level, expecting that to have a spike which can create a potential entry opportunity. We have only 2 minutes to go. Thank you. I hope the chat is being updated. Can you guys hear me and see me? I think the voice is clear. Can you hear me without echo? Welcome. Here's a long week. We can see there is a pretty long week candle, and expecting the market to possibly break below here with a long liquidity grab, expecting it to potentially reject in that area. And this is what we are looking at here in this market. If you guys look at it, you can see here it's trying to push back here for a deeper liquidity grab and then to return again. So we have only 1 more minute to go. Let's wait that market to fill up here. So the data that we can see, CPI yearly looks same, pending. Unemployment claims is a pretty big one, because that's where CPI, so unemployment claims got way more higher. So basically what is on the NFP is being reversed here. So basically less job data got more unemployment claims, which is 263k, while the forecast was 235k, and that's boom gold to the upside here. If you guys look at it, you can see the 4-hour chart, that boom gold upside, as I mentioned. Now it's approaching another key level. So the previous session's high is here, which is the daily level of resistance. The possibility for a rejection here again from this daily high is higher. So if we look at the 4-hour here, this is the, let's delete those 4-hour lines and we place the new one. the possibility for from this daily level is higher to reject again back, and we are looking at an upside bias here on this market, where price is approaching that key level, two significantly important key level of resistance the price is approaching, and which is approaching here that key resistance line. The market is on that level here. If you guys look at it, you can see it's approaching that resistance, where the previous session's high is here at 3638, which might cross here, and going up, which is the daily resistance line, right? So which is approaching that key resistance line, and that move, guys, this is a pickup with the news, and the price is looking at the daily high. It just reached that daily resistance line. Now we might be able to find a sell position very soon. I'm looking for little high here. I'd like to see that daily high or the daily resistance is tested for another potential drop back below to this level. So though we see big jump from this low, touches the daily high, and 4 hour, if you look at it, you can see it's a bigger bearish candle, and now what we are looking at here, guys, for the market to possibly to go back to this daily high. Okay, you can see it carrying that rejection again, but I know that there is a very high probability for a rejection, but what I'm after is that the market to go ahead and hit that potentially this daily high. As daily high, if you go look at 3649 is very important daily resistance line, and from that level expecting the market to potentially reject back again to this is where the support level here in this market. So expecting it to push up to that level and then to return again to the direction. Now that is where you are looking at from this level, which is pushing here back towards the upside here, and that move is important to see the market is potentially crawling back here to the daily high here, which is the key zone that I'm looking at for the price to potentially retest and then to reject. So currently the market is from this daily high to 95 pip below, above. So here would like to see the market is crossing, and we will be selling from the daily high with if we use the 15 minutes price action for the ATR. So the ATR here is 66 pip, and I'm going to place here sell limit with we have to place little higher stop loss because of the volatility. 100 pip, nearly to stop loss, and this is a sell limit, not a market order. Placing a sell limit here at the daily high. So sell limit at 3648.75. Sell limit on XAUSD 3648.75, stop loss 3659.97, and TP target at 3626.67 that I placed at this level. What is order flow? you will be looking at. We'll be discussing in depth on that. So as you can see, a narrow doji formation here in that area. With this narrow doji, that you can see the market has made its rejection currently. So it's potentially forming head and shoulder and returning back or going back up to the hit the daily high. So we placed little higher, as daily high is important resistance line. We're expecting the market to potentially go ahead and retest that level. We're expecting the market to potentially go back and then retest and reject back again to the major direction of the trend. So from the 4-hour chart that you can see, this is a complete breakup structure. The price now started to pull back here, and 15 minutes candle closing with a sharp rejection. The price didn't reach there. Now the next candle, should we look to see the market is going up or started to drop back below here? Let's wait to see how the market is evolving in that area. We see the market from the support level getting that reaction back to the upside here, expecting the price to potentially trend to the upside here to the key level. And here is we can see from this support, as from the news we saw the spike, expecting the market to go ahead and hit that level in that area. You guys look at it, you can see this is a head and shoulder in that area, and with this head and shoulder, here is what we are looking at, the market with this head and shoulder formation, the price okay potentially to break below, and now expecting it to go ahead for another retest. So looking at this move with the news, it's a pretty big spike back to the upside. Now depending on how this candle closing, the market may drop again, or we could see that continuation back. Our entry is still to the daily high, and I think it's still possibility for the market to go ahead and retest the daily high before the 4-hour close. While also the market is with a head and shoulder trying to break below. It even could come back here to this 4-hour support level. We can see from this support level, this is where pretty sharp bounce, pullback, expecting another move back to the upside here in this market. And what we are looking at here in this market, guys, this is a 4-hour support where there is an initial bounce back to the upside and followed by with this bounce, which is a long wick candle, and this is 1-hour price action where we can see that bounce. This candle is still possible to go back up. We see that it's on a pullback. Are you guys ready for an entry? We can see this is where the market now slowly trending back below in that area, and where the price potentially to be heading back here to the upside, or you could see another wave of drop. Now we might be readjusting the entry depending on how this candle closing. Okay, so here the market, with the news, we have seen expected move to the upside. It's on a pullback. For us to enter, let's see that on the 15-minute chart, and 1-hour candle close in 10 minutes time. And what we have seen, guys, here from the if we look at the 15 minutes again, All right, so you see that bearish move already started again from the daily high, and this is the daily resistance the price tested and then rejected from this level. So I will be closing this pending order because it's too high became now, and less likely that this pending order to get a trigger. So therefore we may readjust our entry in this area at the moment. And what we are looking at here for this movement on gold, for this market potentially to be tested and then return. So here is the market after this move start to drop again. So what I think that here now the price potentially could come back to this support level, here, and that is where looking at for this market to possibly turn back here in that area. So now from that perspective, this is the 15 minutes price action candle closing. We're expecting that the market to go ahead and retest this zone again. That's where you can look for an entry because this is the daily high. So we can adjust our entry to lower side here for this potential move. If you look at the 15 minutes, you can see that the market after this long week form a bearish candle. Now it can still form an inverted head and shoulder, and the market may bounce back to the upside here. So where we are looking at for possible sell entry, but I think the price at least to drop here to 3612 level. So some of the zone that we can look for here, a short-term upside again. Now in this move now at the moment on gold, if the price goes back to this 15 minutes high here, this is another liquidity. So every time we need to look for a new area. That is secret. I have got quite a few questions earlier also that to explain in what basis I look for those levels for entry with such a high win rate, how we can maintain that. This is the secret. Okay, now at the moment we are looking at this is the 15 minutes resistance, and we will be placing the sell limit here in that area with, if we look at the ATR here, that you can see this is 66 pip 180 here, so you'll be looking at nearly to 95 pip to 100 pip stop loss, and okay, so now here I'm going to place sell limit adjusted. With a 100 pip stop loss here. So here is what we are looking at. Adjust a sell limit on Xauusd 3636.9, it is stop loss 3647.11, TP target at 3612.97. So this is what we are looking at on Xauusd. We place the new adjusted pending order here on gold, and so place the sell limit, and as you guys can see that there is a long wick, and what we are expecting here for this market potentially to go back up, hit that level, and then to reject back again to this support level. And as the market has tested this daily high, this is a level that I'm looking at for selling, because other than this, any other area could be less valuable. The aim here for us is to look for the most important area of value. That's what we're looking at in this market. This is the current area of value that we are looking at in this market. So we see there is a 5 minutes bearish in the market, potentially to come back here to this support level, and the 15 minutes price action, which is showing that from this level, expecting the market to potentially go back up here to retest and then reject back again. Okay, so here again readjusted the pending order here for this move on gold, and what looking at here for the market to potentially to retest that high and then to again return back below to the support level. Readjusted sell limit on Xauusd at 3636.98. So this might get a trigger. Alright, so here this is on a pullback, and with this pullback expecting the market to potentially moving back here to that resistance line, and we might get a trigger expecting that the price to retest the daily high. That means daily open, not the daily high, as there is a long wick here. So we would like to see the price in fact crossing that level. We might be able to bring that entry little lower here at this point. I'd like to get a trigger here in that area. So 3636.38. So entry 3636.38. Moving little lower, guys. Adjusted for 3636.38. $3636.38 here, and here is the market maintaining that series of expecting the price to go ahead, hit that level, and tend to reject back again. Waiting for a trigger, guys. Fake out. Yeah, hello everyone, thank you very much. We didn't enter, now we have placed the pending order. There was a possibility that fake out, that's why I did not enter, and we was waiting for this to happen. That's the best way to trade. Wait for that to happen, wait for that fake out to happen, and then enter the trade. So here is the market is now pushing here back to the upside in that area, and with that being said, we can see the market slowly pushing that price back above here, where the market is slowly trying to build that momentum. And what we're looking at here, guys, is that the price to trigger and then to get a rejection again below here in this market. are you going to enter by market? The market in a very important resistance line, and I'm holding on to for a trigger, expecting it to go up and then get the trigger. Here's the market is maintaining that series of high low, expecting it to push back here again to the upside. Guys, we need one more bounce here for an entry. The mark is almost there. Like to see it's crossing that high. That's where we will be entering into the trade. Nearly there. We might get a trigger for this sell limit. Got it. We are on the trade. We are on the trade, guys. Got that trigger. And waiting for a move. We are on the trade here. So with that trade entry, expecting the market to possibly to reject back again in that direction to this support level here. And we are looking to see some reaction from that level. The trade is triggered. We are running in profit. Would like to see dropping back here. So have you got triggered? Can you say yes if you are triggered here? Getting some pep up now. Cool. Getting some peep up. Are you guys ready? And let me know if your trade is running. Running profit 33 pip. As soon as I will take profit, I will give a shout out as the market dropping, and we will be taking the right time, the right zone. That is the power of the strategy. I am taking profit now. I have closed the profit and also have updated in the group. Another win, back to back to almost 18th win in a row. 18th win except one trade in the middle. 41 pip profit taken on gold. We'll be re-entering, but I'd like to see a feedback. Say yes if you secured profit every single day, not only today. Yes, welcome, welcome. That's celebration. Now we need to look at here. Did you guys enjoy this session? Still we have more to do. We have a lot to discuss and also re-enter again as soon as we find further entry opportunity. Let's a little bit of reflect with education with this trade here. Now, this is where looking at this market, you can see exactly where we have entered. How did we find that entry that we have entered exactly to that point, right? Be curious, guys. Curiosity is the key to become a better trader. Okay, responding one of our premium members messages to me early. So this is one of our fellow premium VIP member asked me this question. So I'm sure that that member also in this live session. So the member asked, can you make a video about the way you trade on YouTube? Normally you take a trade in the direction of the trend, but how you make the limit orders? Very important question, right? And I know about the support and resistance level, but I want to learn how you measure it on the lower time frame. Okay, so guys, this is a very important question that I found one of our dedicated member. And if you see that the accuracy of the entry here, what do you see? Exactly to the point. Our entry at this price level, the price dropped from exactly 4 pip, which is the spread gap. From that level, straight drop. Now, do you see in your own eyes? Say yes in the live chat, then we can discuss about the education and the strategy. And if you like this trade very interestingly, then I would like to see a feedback as like this. Smash the like button. And also we have, before I go in depth on this trade, if you are fascinated by seeing how we are trading every single day, this is Forex Trading Wizard Academy website. You can find link below this video. Currently, every trade that I open, I do share in the VIP, that means premium group. Okay, You can get access to all my trade in the premium group. You can get access to my courses, everything that I acquired over long experience. You guys see how I trade and I blend it in few videos. You can access all these strategies. Gold scalping EA currently in my hand. If you don't have to be on it, but if you choose, you can be over 90% win rate with that EA that I am trading. This is the latest system that I use to grow my account along with the regular trade. So it's a optional option. You don't have to choose, pick that gold EA. Also, I keep all my trade open for everyone. So if you are in the academy, you can copy my trade directly to your account if you choose to. Or you can just focus on education only and take those signals that I am sending in the group. Visit www.forextradingwizard.com right now to learn how we have gained every single day in every trade that you are opening. You guys have seen that, right? So visit the website that might change your life, the way you look at the market. Visit the website www.forextradingwizard.com. We have few sports available to take on the mentorship on the lifetime access to the academy. That being said, let's progress with this trade here. How did we spot those entries, right? With the response to that very important question. Now, what do we need to look at here? You see the first entry that we have taken here, we adjusted to this level. Exactly from that point, the market drop. It's like that our entry being used by smart money. Could be because this is Forex Trading Wizard Academy, right? Here we use the smart money trading system. And I told you that, guys, I trade with the smart money. Keep in mind that trading is easy. Now, what we are looking at here in this market, how do you identify this level by yourself, right? Let's get to that point, how you can spot that entry. Now, to move this much of price in the market, 154 people from that level, you need millions of dollars of entry to drop that much of volume in the market. So that's a big criteria here that you need to fulfill if you want to bring the price back below here. Now, so let's see, this is the 4-hour candle. It's almost to the support level. First of all, I would like to see every member have been able to secure some pip here profit. This is our goal. Welcome. Thank you. You guys can see visit the website where you can find all the information. Wisdom, welcome. Right now you can join. It's very easy because every trade that we are opening, we are securing profit, and that's what in the live market, of course, you guys have seen that's what makes trading easy for us to look at. Now, let's see here. Yes, welcome. Okay, so you got quite a few members response. Thank you. Now let's look at here in this market that to see where it's heading to. First of all, we want to know the education, right, for this trade. If you are curious, then stay connected. There is more to discuss. The real secret has not been discussed yet. You know the Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest inventors of all time, once said that if you want to know the secret of the universe, then think in terms of energy, frequency and vibration, right? So this is a very famous quote that he said. It's a very relevant, right, for today's or at any point. If you really want to know how does he said that, is very simple, because that is all, right? If you go to the subatomic level, then it's all energy and the wave. Every human also a kind of universe, right? Every human itself is an universe. That's why people has that emotion, which is the energy in motion. So if you can relate that to the market, right? The market also has, if you want to know the secret of the market, you need two things in terms of market structure, liquidity and price action. So market structure is where will tell you the trend. So if you look at here in that area, the market structure here is bullish or bearish. This is the first question, because this is where the most of the time you'll see the traders get confused. Is it a bull market or a bear market? Because it's a big bull candle, right? And it's not about the candle, it's about the pattern, bunch of candle, right? One candle doesn't mean anything, but means something about the breakup structure. So if you look at one candle here, this is basically a breakup structure. And that's why sometimes the traders get confused, because it's a bull candle, one bullish candlestick pattern, and that one bull candle is look like that it's a bullish candle, but it's a bearish setup, because what this candle has done is closed all those previous sellers position, because every seller who sold here in this market, their stop loss in those zones, there's a lot of order that has been triggered, which sellers turn to buyer, smart money sold from this level. Now why our entry adjusted from this level to this level? Let's understand it. First of all, if I look at the replay, this chart, this is the 15 minutes close, right? Like that. If you look at the 4 hour here and the daily market, bearish candle, the open here, and then the price drop to that level. And once the price bounced to that level here, what do you see? That rejection, complete back here, and the market tested that same. This is a high liquidity zone, because there was a strong selling pressure from that level. Once the market bounced to that level, aligning with the higher time frame, this resistance line is where a lot of order, and we have sold from that level. The market dropped from this zone, is keep coming yet to the support level. Now very highly likely that with this 4 hour close, we could see the market to potentially break 3612 level. Now this is another win. Okay guys, so what we are looking at here now, for the next zone that you will be looking at in this market for a potential trend continuation back below, and along with gold, how did the DXY has reacted to the news that I would like to see guys together, and then we'll be able to see that how the market potentially be heading. So we can see that on DXY, so from the 4-hour chart, what we are seeing that here, the market so far created a pretty long wick doji. Now DXY also showing the same directional bias. This is what sometimes happen. If you guys look at, you'll see that DXY and gold both sometime move in the same direction. This is one of the examples of that. You can see that it's the gold move where from this high, a long rejection, while we can see that DXY had the same kind of rejection here. Now with this rejection on DXY, if you look at here, you can see it's a big bear candle on DXY, and looking at the higher and lower time frame on DXY, that is what we see from the intraday perspective from 4-hour chart. DXY from this high completely broken below with a one single move. From the weekly, that you can see the market has dropped back down here. From the monthly also you can see the market has completely broken below. So this is a bear market that if you look at, and from the weekly as well you can see that it's a bear market maintaining this series of lower high. From the daily that we are looking at here as well, market crossed that high. From the daily form a bearish engulfer here. From the 4-hour perspective here, that you can see the market has completely broken below from this high here. And with this bearish drop that you can see on DXY, which is showing that the market potentially to be bearish here, and as there is a rejection from the higher price on DXY, we could see the market to potentially test that low here in this market. So with that DXY move, if we look at the gold price, that you can see it dropped now again, pushing here for another move. So this upside move that on gold again moving back to the upside, that's might be that the market bring another potential entry opportunity. If you look at the 4-hour here, still hit those lines. Now, as DXY has a sharp drop, we might see on gold possibly to have a pullback to the upside here, and where from this support what we are looking at the market to potentially going back here. So what we are looking at here, from this support, the market slowly pushing back here to that level where there is a key resistance line, and where how the market is creating the structure, guys, you can see that it's still the sellers still selling that pressure. So as you will be looking at the 4-hour close coming in 30 minutes time. This is the current 30 minutes price action. I think that the way the market structure is, you can see if you look at a little wider and the bigger picture here in this market, this is the bigger picture here, and with this bigger picture, that if you look at, you can see that it's a long wick, another bear candle, and also another bearish candle. So we see the market is maintaining this series of lower high here, and with this series of lower high with a bigger bullish doji followed by a bear candle followed by another bear candle, the market may possibly break that low here, potentially to create a new lower low in this market. And that could be the level here, that in this market for this price to potentially to come back below. And if you guys look at it, it's a channel. Now, depending on how this 250 minutes candle will close will determine if this market gonna be bullish or bearish. And I think very highly likely that we would see the market, if you look at the 4-hour candle, this is a pretty big doji so far on the 4-hour perspective, and it might close as a long wick doji. And if it is closing as a long wick doji, we see there is a significant liquidity grab at the top, with liquidity grab drop. So with significant liquidity grab at the top, the market may just break that low here and then continue to drop back below in that market. All right, so looking for the potential, the new revised market structure. So we now bearish on gold. So far, yes. Patience is learning the key in Forex Trading User Academy. Welcome, Ahmad. That's the core of not only in Forex Trading User Academy but also in every successful traders. The patience is the key, because trading is highly emotional, right? I discuss a lot. This topic is very important if you really want to be a better trader. Trading is highly emotional, and we as a human mostly driven by emotion, right? Because we say we are logical, but in fact, as a matter of fact, we are midbrain driven creatures or human being. This is emotional brain, and we think that we have taken the decision based on logic, but we have taken decision based on emotion, and then we rationalize based on logic. So it's the other way around. So because of that reason, trading is highly emotional, right? So that's why when you are patient, you are actually observing, and trading teaches you a lot. Will teach you how to observe. Observation is the key. When you observe, the very thing that you are observing will start to change. You'll see this is proven in the quantum mechanics. If you look at the double slit experiment, you'll see that when you observe the electron, you see one result. If you are not observing, it will create a different kind of result. So when you observe, you are giving attention to it. When you give attention, it gets recharged or energized, and that's why you'll see that wherever you will give attention, it will grow. That's the power that human being has, that attention. So when you become patient, you become more observant of your own emotion, and that makes you more better person in every aspect of your life as well. So trading changes a lot of areas in your life. It might be help you to become unbelievably as a good parent, or even become good thinker, anything, because the same skill set needed to other areas of life. So highly emotional in trading, right? Now, when you remain observant and patient, you overcome that emotional decision and you become very logical. By taking some of the trading decisions, aligning with your strategies. And that's why we in the academy are so successful in terms of our trading. The goal, you see that everything results is speaks, right? You guys, for those who are in the academy, you can go back to all the trades that I have shared in the group, and you can see how it worked out. Now, not all trade will be winner, but very few might be loser. But most of the time, our strategy should be working if you are applying in the right way. And one strategy is basically a power tool given to you to apply and to make money in the market. So either you are trading for fun or for serious earning. It is important that you have that kind of tool or strategies in your hand to trade the market when you are trading. Now, combining with the strategy that you are learning with your observation, because the same strategy applied by 2 different person, or maybe 10 different persons, or maybe 100 different persons, the results will be completely different because of who is implementing the strategy also dictates the results coming up from that strategy. Now, you might say, okay, if we follow the rules, everything is there, why the results is coming different? Because of the management of the trade. And also, you will never find 1 plus 1 equal 2. All the time in trading. So you need to have sort of understanding of the rules of the strategy so that you can deviate from the settings when needed to adjust with the changed market condition. See, the market is not moving in my area. Okay. The market structure is forming here with a very sharp structure formation in this area. If you guys look at it, you can see from this support level, a clean impulse pullback, the market is maintaining that series of lower high and lower low and expecting it to break that low here. Now we might be able to find another entry, especially if the market crossing that high with the 4-hour candle close. This is the 1-hour candle close also coming, potentially forming a doji here. Alright, so here is what we are looking at in this market. The price is approaching that key level with a 1 hour doji formation. What I think that, guys, the market here may remain bearish in this area. We might see that this market potentially to drop down here in that direction to this support level. And from this support level, that you can see the price slowly building that pressure back to the upside. We may see the price to go up to create a new higher high. We are looking to see the market again going back to the same key level, and depending on how the candle closes, I'm just looking to see if we have further entry opportunity here, guys. We can see that this back-to-back two long rejection. The market may, if you look at here, you can see that is 4-hour price action. This is pretty stronger liquidity grab here in this market on the lower time frame. The price may go ahead, hit that level, and could return back again to the direction of the trend. From the support level, we can see the market had bounce, which is pretty sharp move back to the upside here to this key level, and expecting the price to potentially continue to trend back below here to this support level. And if the price with this movement before the candle close hitting that level again, we can expect the market to potentially return again to the direction of the major trend. We are looking to see the market slowly building the pressure back here to this 4-hour resistance line, and also the 1 hour if you look at, which is also forming a long doji here in that area. From the 30 minutes chart, that you can see the price slowly building the pressure back here from the lower time frame. Also the market is heading back here, and from this support level that you can see the price slowly. This is what I'm looking at, guys, to see how the market is reacting, so that you can look for possible another sell entry here in this market. Let's look at the 1 minute, which is also important price action currently, and 5 minutes and 1 minute. So looking at the 1 hour and the lower time frame, we can see there is a 1 hour doji, which is also from the 30 minutes and the 50 minutes chart, that we can see it's a sideways movement in this area here on gold, and the market structure is forming. Okay, so you can see here the market with the 4-hour candle closed, initially dropped back below, and because this candle has got multiple candle crossed, multiple liquidity grab here with a long wick, we could see that this market potentially to trend back here to this support level. And that's what we are looking at in this market, seeing that the price potentially to come back below to this support level here. And this is a pretty sharp now, comparatively bigger head and shoulder. Expecting it to drop back here to this support level. And we might see the price to possibly come back here to this liquidity zone. And if you guys look at it, you can see from the daily resistance, the market is showing that potential rejection back below here to this support level, where with that rejection we might see the market potentially to come back here below where there is a support level, and expecting the price to come back here below this level to create a new lower low in this market. From the 1 hour chart that you can see, there is a long wick, back to back two dojis here with multiple liquidity grab, expecting this market to potentially come back here to drop to this support to create a new lower low in this market. So here you can see the market kind of restructuring for another potential move. At the moment, what we are looking at here, potentially weak fill some of this area, and with that weak fill where we will be looking for possible further entry opportunity here in this market. And as we plan for another successful trading day, this is the current resistance line that you are looking at. If the price crossing that high from the 1 hour, if you look at it, you can see it's a 1 hour doji. So breaking above this level is also an important zone that we can look for possible sell opportunity in this market. So that being said, guys, hope that you enjoyed this live session. We had another successful session, expecting further trading opportunity in the upcoming sessions. And with that said, I'll see you again with another live session coming up very shortly. Until that, stay well.